I work with a lot of community managers around a huge range, nonprofit, big Fortune 500, small commercial and startup companies. And we're starting to figure out how to break down engagement. And from that work, we created what I call the community engagement framework. And basically, it's looking at behaviors and saying, there are 4 general categories of behaviors. There's hundreds of behaviors in general, but there's 4 general categories of behaviors if you organize them by value. And we tend to measure just the first one, which is validating behaviors. I viewed that content, I liked that content, I shared that content with somebody else, or I responded to that content. That's the least valuable behavior, but it's the one that most systems can measure, so that's what we look at. The next set of behaviors is sharing. I shared something of my own with you as a gift or an act of generosity. In email, that comes off really, really poorly. Meaning, if I finish a project and send it out to 200 of my closest friends in the organization and say, hey, look, I finished this project, take a look. Nobody does that. It's antisocial. But in communities, you can share it if anybody wants to see it. It's an act of generosity rather than an act of bravado, I guess, for lack of a better word. So sharing can be a lot of things. It can be images, it can be documents, it can be ideas, many things. Once I share something and I get validation for that sharing, that is like the gateway drug for engagement, right? Because now I feel connected and I feel like I matter. And so I'm gonna share again because I shared something that somebody found useful. And from there, I may dip my toe into ask and answering. And if I get positive responses, I'm gonna start develop trust with that network of people that I'm sharing it with. And from there, I move up into, once I feel really comfortable, I'm okay asking open-ended questions, doing that innovation and collaboration that all of our executives are after. But you can't really do that in a space of people that don't trust each other. And the way I measure this is the breadth and the depth of that behavior, not how much content was shared, not how many views content is getting, but how many people are validating as a percentage of the total, and how many validations have happened. And I can measure each bunch of that month over month, and what do you think I can see from that? Yeah, but I can see how the culture is shifting, right? Can I see how much more likely people are to ask questions? Asking questions is an act of vulnerability. If I don't trust the culture, I'm not gonna ask questions. Like, that's just a target on my back. Like, thank you very much, I'll just do my job. And then if I can measure culture and cultural openness and trust, I can start to measure leadership effectiveness.